New Mexico has a booming craft brewery industry, and since we're talking about entrepreneurs this month, we thought it would be a mistake not to include at least one business owner from that industry. But Ken Carson does more than just sell beer. Nexus Brewery is also known as a destination for soul food that also feels distinctly New Mexican. Dishes like chicken and waffles, enchiladas, and fish tacos. I sat down with Mr. Carson recently to hear how he got his start and what it takes to make it in the brewery business. Ken Carson, thanks for coming in from Nexus Brewery. Really appreciate it. We've been doing, as I mentioned in the setup of this, there's a lot of activity out there with beer. People are really excited about beer right now, but you've been at this for a little while, the brewery business. But tell me how you got into it. My understanding is you were in the banking business before you got in the beer and barbecue business. How does that work? What did you do in the banking business? How did that start?
Before I started, I had been in banking for almost 40 years. Wow. I know that seems like a long time, but I started when I was 19. Huh. So what happened is that I was president of a bank. It's called My Bank down in Berlin. I'd been there 14 years. During that time period, the organization grew from 7 million in assets all the way up to, we got up to 150 million with 5 branches. Wow. It was kind of a new bank starting up back then, back in '92. Wow. So we rode the economy on the upside. There was a change in ownership at a shareholders meeting, and so I decided it was time to go. Right. Went to First Community Bank, and then that bank unfortunately failed. And so I was looking around saying, what do I want to do? Maybe I want to do something different. Sure. So that's how I thought of this idea, sitting down having a beer at Marble Brewery. Oh. And I thought, I could probably do this. So I set off to try to be a brewer and get training. That didn't work because nobody wanted a guy my age. And also everybody wants to be a brewer. Right. And it's almost like wanting to be a chef. Well, I started figuring out as I went through the different options that I had, which were really none. I said, well, I'm going to have to hire somebody. So overall, that's how I got it. It's just I've always been interested in beer since. And I'll drop another name, Kelly's. They used to brew your own. That's right. And I heard an advertisement one day about brewing your own beer, and I said, oh man, you can actually make your own beer. Right. And so that's what started it. And from that point on, I every time I went to a bankers convention or out of town, I'd go to a brewery and really enjoyed visiting breweries across the nation because everyone is different. Right. And it's just a lot of fun to meet the people that would sit there and be having a beer with you and stuff like that.
How fun.
That's how I got it.
Well, you're in the club now.
Yes.
You had a goal and you made this come true. Now, when did the brewery actually start? What year did Nexus open?
2011.
Take us through 2011 till then, because that was a very interesting time in our city's arc and the nation's arc to be opening a business in the first place. Right. How confident were you in 2011 that things were going to work out?
Well, being in banking for all the years, I knew that alcohol is probably, the economy, it's not going to be a problem. That's right. And so that was one idea, and I knew that I just felt like a brewery. Well, I watched how fast Marble was growing, yes, and I thought, these guys they're onto something, and there's something going on, and I got in there right at the beginning. The economy. Let me put it, the other thing that happened, I really intended to have Nexus Bank. And
no kidding.
The intention is to get, and I had talked to some of my former shareholders that were on the other side of the ownership change, and we were going to start a bank. But the economy was it was falling and faltering. Right. And I had people that said that they would go in and invest with me, even had my family involved. And but then I started to realize this economy is not recovering. So that's when I backed out of the bank because I figured I wouldn't be able to raise the capital that I needed because I couldn't pull a bank off by myself.
Plus, banks were contracting at that very period. I mean, the local banks here in Albuquerque, as you mentioned, First State and others, that was right at that time where things were contracting.
And there was just too much uncertainty. Right. So that's when I did go to Plan B, and it became Nexus Brewery.
Nice, Plan B. Yeah. 3 cheers for Plan B. I like it.
Right.
Now, obviously, you're more than a brewery. Talk about this idea to do food, because as business risk goes, the second you start serving food, the risk skyrockets exponentially. Costs, things are just very, very tricky. How's that worked out, serving food along with beer?
Well, it's worked out really well for us, and I guess one of the main reasons why it's worked out well is because we differentiated ourselves here in the market.
Right.
The guy that helped me start the brewery, he was a consultant. He's from England, and he's a master brewer. And he's the one that put the brewery side together, laid out the floor plan and everything, and helped me buy the tanks and everything we needed to make the brewery. One day we were sitting around talking, and I was saying, you know, I think there's going to be other breweries that are going to start. And I said, you know,
I'm
marketing,
laughing because that's quite right.
Yeah, but they hadn't started yet,
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
only one or two. But I just said,
You could see it coming,
people are
right?
going to
Yeah.
want to do this. So I said, I've got to differentiate myself. So we decided, instead of having paninis, I decided I'm going to throw a hood in the kitchen, and then we'll figure out what we'll make later. And he said, well, Ken, just do, you know, I was struggling with paninis anyway, because I'm not a sandwich guy, you know.
Yeah.
And so I said, that just really doesn't turn me on. And then I thought about barbecue, but then I said, I've seen my customers, I've been with customers that have struggled with that, and if I don't know what I'm doing, there's too much risk in the meat, the loss. So then I said, well, what else could I do? So I started doing research on the internet, and I found this thing called chicken and waffles. Never had it in my life before.
Love it.
Went to Phoenix
Yeah.
to see Lolo's.
Oh, I know Lolo's, sure.
Yeah, and I said, boy.
They were featured on the same thing you were, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
Yeah.
They were featured, and you were featured as well.
Right, and so I went out there and I noticed how well the business is doing, and so I said, well, we'll do that, and we'll do a couple other items on our menu, keep it down to 10,
Right.
because the last thing a banker ever wants is to be a restaurant, because of the failure rate.
Yes.
So anyway, we proceeded, but what happened was the food took off, the customers kept asking for, you know, fried okra, then it's gumbo, and then the employees would come in and say, I know how to make some red beans and rice.
Wow.
So all of those things started adding up, and about a year and a half later, I looked at our sales, and all of a sudden, from my projections of 20% food, 80% beer, we were sitting at 50-50.
Wow.
And now we're at 65-35.
65 food?
Yeah, 65.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is a really good mix.
That's astounding, actually.
Yeah,
I can't think of
yeah.
another place I could see that kind of a split with food in a
Right.
brewery. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, even most restaurants would like to be structured that way because the beverage side is more profitable than the food.
Right.
And so we have a really good mix, which is typical for breweries across the country to be
Yeah.
about 35-65.
Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Sure.
We'll see you up there soon for sure.